He's an elite processor. When I mean elite processor, he shows you the ability to go from first read, second read, has his feet and his eyes together, and be able to get to his third option. You have NFL quarterbacks that can't do just what he just did.
The Huskers have secured a commitment from Trey Taylor, the 4-star quarterback prospect out of Carmel Catholic in Illinois. Gary, he's 6'3", listed as a $186, and you have to love everything that you hear about him so far, especially his ability to read and react in the pocket, and specifically just being able to go through reads. That's something that you and I are always clamoring for at this level of football. But really, man, the biggest thing that's sticking out to me about this story is just the simple fact that after a century of the Huskers not being able to attract and land top-tier future NFL quality quarterbacks, they're all of a sudden now finding themselves bursting at the seams with it. You've got Dylan already, you've got Trey Taylor coming in, and then of course Dayton hopefully will still be coming in after that. From a quarterback perspective, I almost feel like Matt Rhule's tenure has already been a success, if not just for that alone.
Yeah, you could argue that in a handful of positions. You know, linebacker is one that people are excited about. I feel like the offensive line's finally starting to get built up to do its thing. The receiver room, obviously, we got a lot of studs there. But to your point, from an athletic standpoint of getting a guy like that, you know, looking at his highlights and we still got a whole season. And then if obviously things pan out with Dylan, you're going to have a redshirt year, barring any type of injury that would put him in. One of the knocks on Dylan last year was it felt like every pass was a soft touch pass. And you can see this kid's got an arm. He lets it fly. He has touch when he needs to, but it's not every pass. You're spot on with the movement within the pocket, but also still looking to move the ball downfield, you know, not just running for his life and worrying about where the pressure's coming from, not looking to take off and run, just trying to extend plays. But the little line about when he was 12 and he was sitting in a offensive room at a college talking about plays, and they're telling him concepts and he's able to rattle them back and have check downs and audibles and stuff like that at that young of an age. That's such a cheat code for quarterbacks, man. There's so many very highly talented quarterbacks that can't read defenses, for example, or have a hard time with the entire playbook. The jury's still out on how we got Dylan. Is it because Donovan's here? Is it because Rhule laid out the red carpet when Frost didn't? Blah, 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 whatever. But I mean, you're seeing these quarterbacks come in where, like, people say Rhule is the highest IQ that they've ever had high schooler coming in to college. How quick you hear Holgerson talking about they're trying to run over plays. And as he's calling a play into him, he rattles off the rest of it. Yeah, I got it. He like has everything memorized as well as the coordinators and the coaches do. Seems like this kid is along the same lines of that. It's crazy, man. You know, we're always talking about quarterbacks in Nebraska of like, you know, he's fast, he's physical, he can run, he's tough, he's strong. Not so much about not only a good passing game, but going into depth and into good detail of aspects of the passing game that they really excel at. You know what I mean? That's kind of jumping without taking the steps you would take to progressively have a better passing quarterback, to now all of a sudden, to your point, you're getting guys that at least at this stage of their careers have potential to be NFL type quarterbacks. And that's very, very rare for Nebraska. So it's wild, man. You're right. It's crazy that you've got Davila who transferred. Some people say maybe he wasn't as good as his rating was coming out when he went to Purdue. You got Latif. A lot of people are after him. Elite 11 type quarterback again. You had Kalen, obviously he was an Elite 11 guy, but he left. So I mean, and that's how I think we're going to get into, like, all of this stuff's great. Can we keep him? Is he going to be here when it's time for him to play? Or more importantly, I guess, when it's time for Dylan to move on? That aside, just the ability that this coaching staff seems to have of being able to get that quality of player at that critical of a position is, to me, that's bigger than what you're actually getting. You know, if this works out and he stays and he ends up playing in 2 years, great. If it doesn't, he transfers and gets offered more money, doesn't like sitting. We now have a track record of, okay, I have faith that they're going to find another quarterback when it's time for Dylan to move on.
Thanks for hanging out with us during this video, guys. Make sure to hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. The season is around the corner, and we're going to have our position preview videos coming up soon. You don't want to miss it.